It's a great pleasure and a great privilege to welcome the Governor of Tokyo to Chatham House today. Governor Masazoe has had a distinguished political career, and I recall when I was British Ambassador in Tokyo between 2008 and 2012, Governor, I hope I'm not going to embarrass you, but when politicians had popularity ratings in the opinion polls, Governor Masazoe was way ahead of many of his colleagues. And we saw in the election for the Tokyo governorship at the beginning of this year, Governor Masazoe's success in the face of some very, very strong competition, including a previous prime minister.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure to welcome the governor to London this week and to Chatham House today to talk about the road to Tokyo 2020. This month, October, we have been celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first Olympic Games to be held in Tokyo in 1964. The hinge event which helped to bring Japan back into the world internationally following the Second World War. Now we have the Tokyo Games to look forward to in 2020, and the radical and exciting measures that are being put in place in Japan to prepare for that Olympiad are very much the responsibility of the Governor of Tokyo, who is with us today. So please join me in welcoming Governor Yoichi Masazoe.
Thank you very much. Sir David, Dr. Robin Niblett, Dr. John Sevenson Wright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored by this opportunity to speak before you here today at the Chatham House. It is an immense pleasure and privilege to stand here at the same place where so many leading figures of the world have spoken passionately about their visions. One of the first things I did after arriving in London was visit the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. It was beautifully developed, and I was very impressed by the fact that the facilities are being fully utilized after the Games. My congratulations to London. Although I wasn't able to ride on the Boris bike with Mayor Johnson, we are able to enjoy a nice talk while walking through the park. This was the first time for us to meet, but we got along very well. Maybe we have a lot in common, except in our hairstyles. Now, I'd like to point out that what moves the world today is the power of cities. According to the global city ranking by The Economist, London ranks second in the world, following New York. Do you have maybe this light in order that you can? Do you have the documents about the ranking of the cities? Can you see that? According to the Economist survey, New York tops, and followed by London. We're number 6. But early this month, a Japanese think tank called Mori Memorial Foundation announced its Global Power City Index. London ranked right-hand top, and Tokyo was 4th. London, New York, Paris, Tokyo, and Singapore is catching up with Tokyo. London rose to number 1 following the Olympic and Paralympic Games, and this year came out far ahead of the other cities. Tokyo wished to learn how London was able to continue developing after the Games. I believe this lies in the various mechanisms that create the appeal of London: society, economy, and culture. We want to learn from London, and I said to Boris, I will beat London. Sorry about that. That's the reason for my visit. Tokyo aims to take the opportunity presented by 2020 Games to rise to the number 1 spot. Now, please allow me to speak about my future vision for Japan. Currently, the gross domestic product of the city Tokyo alone is still almost as large as the GDP of Spain, and also is equal to that of South Korea. You can see that. US, China number one, and Japan, UK here, Germany, France, Brazil, UK, and Tokyo is almost same the figure as Spain and Mexico or South Korea. The Tokyo metropolitan region will continue to hold the largest population in the world, which is estimated to be 37.2 million by the year 2030. The number of overseas visitors to Tokyo is increasing significantly, recording 22.5% growth last year over the previous year. According to TripAdvisor, a travel site I'm sure you're all familiar with, Tokyo ranked top as providing the best overall experiences for foreign travelers. Prime Minister Abe has visited London twice since last year, and on his recent visit strongly conveyed the message that Japan is back. Prime Minister Abe and I were always in contact with each other in promoting our policies. Abenomics is bringing about the steady recovery of the Japanese economy. And Tokyo is locomotive to pull the other regions of Japan and to enhance this economic trend. As you know, in September last year, Tokyo won its bid to host the 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games. The future looks even brighter with this huge project now ahead of us. I hope to give you a solid sense of the true strengths of Tokyo and how Tokyo will become a city that is open to everybody all over the world. Yes, Tokyo creates a future. This is my vision. Just I have some glass of water. Oh, this is, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, my goal is to make Tokyo the best city in the world. Today, I'll focus on my 3 priority policies. Priority number 1 is to deliver the best Olympic and Paralympic Games in history in 2020, and to use this opportunity to dramatically improve our city's functions. Priority 2 is to further invigorate the economy and make Tokyo a city that gathers people, money, and information from around the world. Priority 3 is for Tokyo to become a role model for a mature city by achieving a living environment that is pleasant and comfortable. As you know, I served as Minister of Health and Welfare and Labor. I worked so hard in order that all the environment and the situation in which aged people, the kids, and everybody can live very comfortably. Please let me start by speaking about the 2020 Games. As was the case in London, I not only wish for the success of the event, but feel it's most important to ensure its legacies will leave both tangible and intangible assets, as well as the various activities that were undertaken on the occasion of the Games, as legacies for the following generations. From such a perspective, we will realize our concept of holding an athlete-first and compact games while also reviewing the plans for the competition venues. Furthermore, we will advance the barrier-free environment of roads and train stations. We will make Tokyo a people-friendly city. This will not just be accomplished by the building of facilities, but through the promotion of a barrier-free mindset, with people lending a helping hand to those in need. Japan must also deal with the language barrier. Multilingual capabilities will be essential for welcoming international visitors in the run-up to hosting a successful Games. We will introduce multi-language signage on public transports and in public spaces, and will build an environment where visitors can move around smoothly and in comfort. Extending hospitality to foreign visitors to ensure their pleasant stay in Tokyo is almost important. In addition to providing them with convenient and free Wi-Fi services in Tokyo, we will follow the example of the London Olympics by having over 80,000 volunteers. Maybe I'll name this Team Tokyo or Omotenashi Tokyo or something like that. I wish to introduce systems where we have tourist guides actively helping out international visitors. The games are not just a festival of sports, but also a festival of culture. London 2012 was highly appraised for its cultural aspects. Tokyo will also aim for this, and we hope to hold a wide variety of cultural programs all over Tokyo. Tokyo has also established its Arts Council, and we wish to look at initiatives such as those taken by the Arts Council of England for guidance. By learning about how London engaged in the 2012 Games, this visit has been a rewarding opportunity for me to again think about what Tokyo should do as we prepare for the 2020 Games. London will serve as our role model in preparing for the Olympics. Japan's cloud technology will support the Games, the athletes and spectators gathering in Tokyo from around the world will sing praises for management of Games and our hospitality. This is my dream for delivering the best Games in history. Next, the second priority. Let me now speak about Japan as a global economic city for successful business. To generate further vitality in Tokyo, which is now on the move, it will be necessary to build an environment that will facilitate corporate activities and ensure the opportunities abound in Tokyo. I believe you are taking note of the third arrow of Abenomics, Japan's growth strategy and deregulations. Along with promoting the Special Economic Zone program, Japan is aiming to double its stock of foreign direct investment to 35 trillion yen, about approximately 200 billion pounds. The Tokyo metropolitan government is also working to attract 500 foreign companies. I intend to accomplish three things to make Tokyo a city with a welcoming environment for business. First, we will promote development of an international business hub using the Special Zone program, which eases regulations to draw out the potential of the private sector to the maximum. 10 large-scale urban development projects will be implemented in central Tokyo. Transportation nodes, convention centers, and other functions will be strengthened. And centers for international business, such as pharmaceuticals, will be established. One example is a redevelopment project in Tokyo's Toranomon area. But with easing of regulations and the introduction of a system for the vertical use of road space, it has become possible after 8 years to use the space above Ring Road number 2. This road was very often called Macarthur Road after the war. It facilitated the construction of the skyscrapers, which could serve as an international business hub. Back when a new strain of influenza arrived in Japan, I led the government's effort to contain the threat of virus, as I said, as the Minister of Health. That experience taught me how important it is to create new drugs to address the current threat of Ebola viruses, a drug developed by Japanese pharmaceutical companies being used. And I'm paying close attention to the emerging outcome. We'll work to establish centers for development of drugs to better use Japan's technological strengths in that field. Secondly, we will build an environment that will make it easier for foreigners to do business. The complex administrative procedures that need to be taken for overseas companies to set up a Japanese subsidiary will be simplified through one-stop procedure in English. and the period from application to company establishment will be greatly shortened. In addition, we will increase the number of serviced apartments, medical institutions, and the international schools accommodating foreigners in order to build a comfortable living environment for our international community. One view expressed by some foreign nationals residing in Japan is that number of foreign executives in a Japanese company is much too low. Although there may be language barriers, I believe we need to welcome more talent from overseas. Even so, there are still hurdles standing in the way of foreign individuals and the companies developing business with their Japanese counterparts. Each industry has its own business practices. Many of these practices are not even known to Japanese people outside the sector. This is where we want Tokyo to step in and play a central role by providing a steady stream of opportunities for companies to be matched at. Thirdly, we will make Tokyo a global financial center on a par with the City of London here and New York's Wall Street. Finance is the lifeblood of the economy. Because I was successful in receiving the support of the national government and the economic sector, private sector, we have been able to establish a system supported by the whole nation to make Tokyo an international center. In the future, we will have Tokyo function as the point where capital flowing into the country is received and overseas investments are made, creating a mechanism abundantly supplied with domestic and foreign funds. We will urge the central government to implement through deregulation, including an overseas investment-friendly pass-through taxation system, and create a cooperative framework to make it easier for foreign financial institutions to produce funds in Japan. Tokyo will hold international financial conferences. In addition, I want to provide a forum where domestic and foreign financial institutions and companies will communicate and share information. Maybe it should even be called the Tokyo Financial Forum. We'll advance the three types of initiatives, bringing together the expertise of the entire country as well as that of the public and private sectors. Later today, I'm going to visiting the city to speak with experts in finance. I hope to hear what they feel Tokyo should do to become a global financial center. Now, the third priority, I'd like to speak about how Tokyo will, as a major city, be a pleasant and comfortable place to live. There are many elements that make city life pleasant. These include crime prevention, disaster control, welfare, and health care. But today, I'll speak about the environment, centering on energy policies which make the sustainable growth of the cities possible. We'll begin by spreading the use of hydrogen, which is a promising next generation source of energy. Japan will soon be achieving this with the marketing of fuel cell vehicles that are comparable in performance to gasoline-powered vehicles. I tried by myself, superb. At the 2020 Games, we hope to attract attention to the advent of a hydrogen society by providing visitors with a sight of vehicles running on hydrogen. We will also advance the expansion of the renewable energies through a diversity of measures, including the use of photovoltaic energy, wind energy, and sewage heat recovery. We will fully use Japan's strong technology to come up with ways to expand the use of such sources of energy. In the future, we hope to progress to bring a CO2-free hydrogen society that produces hydrogen through renewable energy. Initiatives to reduce the energy consumption of the cities are also crucial. The Tokyo government was the first in the world to institutionalize a cap-and-trade system to curb carbon dioxide emission of buildings. In order to mitigate global warming, we also want to encourage in more aggressive energy-saving policies in cooperation with the world's cities. Modernization has traditionally encompassed by the history of motorization. But I believe that from now on, the world's major cities will move toward demotorization. I understand that here in Tokyo, the use of bikes increased after 2012 Games, maybe called Boris bikes. Tokyo will also create a better environment for bicycle use and promote bike sharing. In order to achieve these three priority policies, I'm pushing forward with city diplomacy. Even when difficult issues exist between countries, cities can build possible relationships and can, at times, even help diplomacy at a national level. As Ambassador David, you know very well these current issues between our neighboring countries. So, with such thought, I visited Beijing in April and in Seoul in July and rebuilt relationships with our important partners in Asia. I have visited London and Berlin this week. This year marks the 20th anniversary of our friendship city relationship with Berlin, Germany. I visited the German capital the day before yesterday and signed the Memorandum of Understanding on Exchange and Cooperation. I was surprised that there is no such agreement between London and Tokyo yet, unfortunately enough. So I discussed with Boris, and we agreed to strengthen our partnership further. Maybe he's coming to Tokyo next year. I welcome him, and we can sign something like that. We have a partnership with Paris, New York, Beijing, Seoul, and then Moscow and Berlin. But we used to have this kind of very loose cooperation, partnership, or something like that. But nowadays, there is nothing like that. So anyway, for cities to deepen their friendship and address common challenges will benefit them and their citizens, I plan to build a win-win relationship with cities around the world and thereby strengthen Tokyo's appeal. I'm very happy to hear that Japanese food and osake is popular in London. There may be some misunderstandings that prices are high in Tokyo, but you can eat delicious food at really low cost. £2 will be more than enough to eat gyudon. You know, gyudon, a bowl of rice topped with beef, very cheap. You would not be disappointed also by the taste of the price. Shopping is also a good deal. Perhaps due to weekend, Ginza, as you know, our high-end shopping district, is brimming with international tourists, especially Chinese buyers of Japanese goods. I mean, Japanese tourists. And it is one of the good achievement of my visit to Beijing. And they buy many things in Ginza department house and the big shops. And they pay much money. And these shops pay much tax to me. And I can make this money to make our games successful, right? So please come to Tokyo and pay much money for me. So please don't miss this chance. Pound is very strong, okay? Making the most of the opportunity provided by the Festival of Sports, the Olympic and Paralympic Games, Tokyo will become a city full of business opportunities with a high possibility of success, and a city that will continue to develop substantially. That is my future vision of Tokyo. We have recently presented an outline of this vision through the words, sports has the power to change the world and the future. Japan changed in 1964, as you know, 50 years ago, we held such a beautiful Tokyo Olympic Games. Let's inspire the world in 2020. The 2012 Games changed London, as you know, significantly. Tokyo will also change. The world will be changed. Tokyo creates the future. This is my vision. Be sure to keep your eyes on Tokyo as it soars toward the future, and maybe in 6 years we will beat London. Thank you very much.